Hey Sagittarius, what's going on? We are here with the timeless reading. Welcome. The first two cards that we have out are Six of Cups and Eight of Wands. Okay, interesting. The last reading that I did was an Aquarius reading, and at the last card that came out in the row was Hanged Man, and the same thing is happening in this reading as well. So there can be maybe a pause before moving forward. So I'm seeing Six of Cups, I'm seeing Eight of Wands, I'm seeing Seven of Swords in the middle. After Seven of Swords, I'm seeing Knight of Pentacles, and then I'm seeing Hanged Man. The first thing that's jumping out to me when I'm looking at this is when we have Seven of Swords and then we have Knight of Pentacles after that, it can mean that we are taking steps, but not from a place of being totally mindful or maybe in the clear or maybe an absolute truth with ourselves. Because Seven of Swords can be something that we're doing where there can be not a full paying attention to it, or there can be something that you're not being totally straight with yourself about, or there can be something that, I mean, without Seven of Swords here, if we just had Knight of Pentacles, this would be you making moves where you're thinking to yourself, this is a move that is connected with me investing, me laying a stable foundation, me moving in the direction of what I'm trying to build. This is going to support the things that I have going on. Having Seven of Swords be there can be something that you're doing where you're actually walking that back a bit, where you could be potentially undoing some stuff, where you could be taking steps telling yourself that you're investing, but Seven of Swords before that can be that you're not actually doing that. That at least what you think you're investing in, you may not be investing in what you think you're investing in. And so having Hanged Man here can be a let's pause this and let's make sure that you're really looking at things and seeing things clearly. Because we have Six of Cups and Eight of Wands, this can be something from your past that's coming back up, and it can be sort of blinding you a little bit because we have Six of Cups moving into Eight of Wands, which then moves into Seven of Swords. This can mean something from the past coming back up, that sort of creating a lens, put over how you're seeing things, and then you go to make a move, but you're stepping in the wrong direction. You're still making a move here because we do have Knight of Pentacles, so there's an intention of, like, I'm doing this for myself. My idea is that this is the thing to be doing here with what I have in mind. But Seven of Swords can be, maybe I'm telling myself I'm doing one thing, but it's actually doing something else. Because I'm seeing Knight of Pentacles here, it does feel like a move is being made, but it just may be not doing what you think it's going to be doing. And so that's why Hanged Man is here, saying make sure that you're being honest with yourself about what you're doing here. I mean, it just like to bring this into a place of an example to clarify the energy, maybe make it easier to understand. This can be, you've been making moves, you've been in a place where you've presently been paying attention to things, and that you're focused on what you have going on. And so from a place of being present, from being centered, you're making moves, and it allows you to step by step do what you're trying to do. Now it looks like something from your past is coming up and it can be derailing you a bit, and then you're motivated by something that is not happening now and may actually not be grounded in your present reality, but going to make a move based off of that anyway. And then that move is not going to support what you're trying to do, what your bigger goal is here. So it's going to be, there's a destination you're trying to get to, and so you're just following the path to get there as efficiently as possible, because we have a Knight of Pentacles. So this is, every step that I'm making counts, and I want every step to be a step in the right direction. So there's a deliberation about the steps before I take it, and then I make sure that that's going to get me closer to my goal that I'm trying to reach. However, something is going on that can be saying, yeah, this is the way to the goal, because you're not looking closely enough at it, and you're going to misstep. You're going to take a step in a direction that will not be going towards your destination that you want to get to. And this can be something fanciful that's coming up here. Like having the Six of Cups and having Hanged Man can be like, this was something that I wanted to happen, or this is a fantasy that I can latch onto and tell myself this story about, this is what's going to be happening. But I know that if I took a closer look at this, it would just completely dissolve, because it's not based in truth. But maybe I don't want to take that closer look at it, but I want to make a move anyway, but then it's going to like go against what you're trying to do. Some of you, this can be somebody coming through and there being some type of influence that you're allowing to impact what you have going on. I mean, for some of you, if this is a person, this can even be somebody coming through and saying, hey, I'm trying to build something solid with you. And you may know in your heart that your wish for things to be a certain way, even though they're not presently like that, can be maybe not allowing you to clear this out through the use of your discernment. And then you can look back and be like, why wasn't I just honest with myself? I would have seen right through that. The way to combat Seven of Swords and the Hanged Man is you have to be in a mindful, grounded place of absolute honesty and truth with yourself. And then those energies don't have power for there to be any sort of distortion or illusion. Because the Hanged Man, that energy can be used in a way that's really transformative and powerful, where there can be an understanding of the energetics of things from a place where you're clearly seeing what's going on. Or it can be something where if it's in its shadow energy, it can be telling you stories and you're believing it, and that's not actually what's happening. But because of not wanting to see the truth, that's what gives this power. And then you end up investing, you end up taking steps, and you're like, what was all of this for? It didn't even lead to what in my head it was going to lead to. And you look back and you're like, there were signs and I should have known, but I just didn't want to see it. It will turn out to be one of those. Maybe also acting too quickly and not spending time thinking, because Seven of Swords is above Knight of Wands. This can be, I'm not thinking before I'm doing things, I'm just reacting. What this can also mean too is not trusting yourself to move forward with what you want to move forward with. This can be like cowering away from something because of that Seven of Swords being above Knight of Wands. And Knight of Wands needs you to be brave if you're going to tap into that energy, or bold, or trusting yourself. Maybe a mix of all of those things. Okay, so straight up, some of you, you have somebody from your past that's coming through, reaching out to you, wanting to renegotiate something with you. It feels like this is one of those times where, for those of you, if this is a person coming through, they're coming through and they're like, don't you want to recreate this? It could be so nice. But then having that Seven of Swords and having having the Knight of Wands can be, before you really think this through, gonna act on something, and there's really a need for you to pay attention to what you're doing here. I think more than anything, just so you're aware of what you're doing. It's less so, I think, about you need to do this or you need to do that, and more so you just being aware of whatever it is that you're deciding, so you feel like full disclosure, you know what you're doing, and aware of like what that's going to do, the impact that it has, rather than saying I'm going to do this and it's going to do that thing over there and it's something else entirely because you were skipping over something. Like maybe there's something even in the details that really needs to be looked at here and not be glossed over. Some of you too, I'm wondering if this is like an old behavior or something, or an old behavior pattern, like something that was sort of come up and feel in a way attractive to you. But having that Hanged Man here feels like there's an elevated understanding of this that can be gained now. Understanding maybe the principle of what's going on. So you can make a move where you move into a place where this feels like where you're trying to go. 8 of Wands going into 4 of Pentacles. I'm moving into a place where I feel like there's stability there. And so my intention is to grab onto opportunities that allow me to support that. I want to feel like things are, there's a foundation, there's stability, or I feel that sense of security. That's what you're making the moves for. So you take opportunities that are going to support that. If you're laying down the concrete for a foundation, if you're getting an opportunity to reinforce that or to even make that happen in the first place, those are the opportunities you're going to go for. And there's clearly a common goal that you have, that you're working towards. There's something that you have in mind. Having this 7 of Swords and having this Knight of Wands feels like sometimes things go out the window and you may get an impulse to do something that would be destabilizing to the foundation, destabilizing to the structure. And it feels like it comes from a place of maybe not thinking things through or getting caught up in stuff. This can be like mindlessly doing something, not paying attention fully, impulsivity, reactivity. And I think ultimately taking away the power and influence that you have here. This is something that can undermine that. Whatever this is, it feels like it will destabilize something for you. Whether this be a person, whether this be an opportunity, whatever this is, if you are like, what is my important stuff and is that conflicting with it? It feels very much like there's a conflict of interest here. But this is something familiar that is arising or coming back. And sure, it can be a person, but it can also be like an old way of doing things, or it can be an old pattern or something like that. I want to see any more details in case there's anything. Yeah, if something is presenting itself to you, needing to make sure that you're seeing things clearly. Seeing the Ace of Wands and seeing the Hanged Man, I feel like something presents itself to you and you really just need to take a close look at it and make sure that you are seeing it for what it really is, and then there will be no issue. And when I say issue, I mean there will be no you grabbing hold of something thinking it's one thing and then you realize it's something else in your hand. This is how you avoid that happening. I think also seeing what is a real opportunity that supports what you are doing currently versus what's something that will deconstruct what you currently have going on. To make sure that you are making moves that support what you are trying to do here. And make sure that it keeps things locked down and secured, the things that you want to be. Because I even get it, like there is a foundation here and it feels like whatever this is that's coming up can possibly be taking a, whatever it is that like drills up concrete, it can be like taking that to the foundation. So it will undermine that foundation that you've been building. Seven of Swords and Knight of Wands feels like it may be something can be coming up that for some reason it feels like challenging to control yourself. It feels like one of those things where you know when you're telling yourself like I'm not going to do this anymore, and then you like get that feeling coming up of like wanting to do it, and in that moment you can choose to like control yourself and to not do the thing, or you can like shut off that part of you that's like, we said we weren't going to do the thing. You can like shut that off and do the thing that you feel the impulse to do anyway. It kind of feels like that to me, the way that this is that's coming up. However, it feels like it will, if that happens, like it's going to undermine something that you would not want it to undermine. It feels like it will damage something that you have been doing all this stuff just to build. It feels like it would very much be like undoing stuff that you've been doing. And that's why it's sort of connected, and also why you want to be mindful with this. Because if this was just one of those times where it's like maybe not the best choice to make, but it wouldn't really have that big of an impact, I don't think that it would be so, it would be more inconsequential, but this feels like it will be consequential in a way that you wouldn't want it to impact. And so that's why this is coming up. And seeing the Queen of Pentacles on the bottom of the deck, I wonder if this has to do with your personal life or something that impacts you personally in some way. Like on an individual level. If you're not sure about the direction to go in, don't force yourself to make a choice, because something can come up and you can like need some time to get more information. Something that I'm remembering is that in the pre-shuffle I was seeing the Tower, so this can be something that sort of pops up like an unexpected situation to deal with, and you want to, no matter what it is that you're doing, be mindful of what you're doing. And if it is a time of confusion, don't make a choice in that moment. Because that can also be another thing with Seven of Swords and Knight of Wands, can be like before you have all the information or before it's really time to be doing something, you just do it. And then things crumble because of that. But that doesn't have to be your fate here with this. Like this can be avoided. Okay. Because I wonder too if there's going to be something going on where something happens like with the way that you're thinking and there's some type of influence even. I wonder if this is going to be connected with the transit. Because especially now that I'm seeing Neptune twice here, like in the last reading and in this one too, the way that Neptune works is that it can come through and confuse things, and then if you're like not paying attention or if you're panicking because you're in fog and then you're like want to run through it, you can crash into something because you can't see. So it's better to just be still and wait for the fog to dissipate. Yeah. If you feel unclear and there's a choice that needs to be made, don't do anything. Just wait. Like, don't force something if it's not time, especially not from a place of anxiety. It's like, if you see the energy of Neptune as sort of being one of the barriers or being like one of the tests when you're moving through a level or moving through a cycle, the energy of the Hanged Man can be a time where, like, when you get to that particular spot, things become really foggy and confusing, and it's like a funhouse mirror, but like everywhere you look, and you can know things feel a little bit distorted or strange, or that stuff doesn't look right, but it also looks kind of realistic. It's like gonna be one of those times. And if you're in a place where there's like a panic or a reacting or a like seeing the thing and then doing something with it and it not being grounded, that is the time where you can get bumped back. It's not like it's going to be game over, but you'll get bumped back and then you're going to have to redo this stuff. And if you don't want to have to redo this stuff, it's not the time to be. It's like if your vision is distorted, you don't want to be making choices you would as if your vision were cleared, because stuff can look a bit different when things clear up. Yeah. Okay. I think that's about it. So with that being said, we are going to leave the reading here. I would like to thank everyone for connecting. Thank you for tuning in. I am sending everybody love, and I hope to catch you guys next time.